Hello, all of you beautiful people. I hope everyone's having a great time today. We're continuing with our Groovy Podcast. This time we are having an incredible artist I know from Portugal, which I met her a couple years ago, but we're going to talk about that in the podcast that is about to happen. She's a musician from Portugal, really talented. I've been lucky to do collaborations with her. And I am lucky to have all of you beautiful viewers right now. Doesn't matter if you're watching this on stream or you're watching it later. I still appreciate your presence. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Sandrabullet.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello, how are you, Sandra?
All good. How are you? Thank you
I'm
so much
doing...
for the invite, by the way.
No, you are more than welcome. You know, let me tell you something pretty quick what I like doing on my stream. So every time that I stream, I always like, especially when we're doing podcasts, I like putting like kind of like background lo-fi music because I think it fits like the vibe a lot of the times. But anyways, thank you so much for being here, Sandra. So tell me a little bit about how was your week regarding music? Like, were you working on a project recently, or what were you doing last week?
Yeah, so I'm always doing a lot of stuff. Usually I don't have just one project going on.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have many things going on besides my solo career as an artist, I also have my bulletized covers project on YouTube.
Nice.
I also have, sometimes I'm freelance, so I work as a freelance artist for other artists. Sometimes I record voice for other artists. Currently, I'm actually in the process of finishing Larissa Goretkin album that she recorded here in my studio. So today I just sent her the final files and really looking forward to it and can't wait to share with all of you. So it's something that I've never done. It's totally different style than I usually do. My main genre is rock. But as a freelance artist, I get the chance of working in many other styles. I have a jazz album out there. If you search me, I have like EDM tracks. I do sound like a lot of, that disco and dance music from the 90s with those powerful singers.
Yeah.
Many people look me up, and because of that, they want to have powerful vocals on their voice, on their tracks. And so I always have a lot of stuff going on. So currently I'm finishing Larissa's album, and I'm actually trying to set some dates because I'm starting to, live shows are opening here in Portugal finally. And so I'm already scheduling so I can present my new album that I haven't had the chance. Well, the album came out in May last year, but I still didn't have the chance to present it live. So I'm really looking forward to start performing live and showing up my album for everyone.
I look forward to that as well. Like, so you're saying that you work entirely right now in music and creative arts, mainly music. You know, it is interesting because I saw an interview you had with CMV Studios. I think it was probably like a year or 2 years ago. Yeah. And you were saying that you were a big Britney Spears fan. So even though you are rock and roll and you like soul and all of this great music, you still have that like pop inside of you, which there's nothing wrong with it. We all have had that genre. So it is interesting to see kind of like the variety of genres that you have covered. And I don't know, that I think that's phenomenal as a musician. Before we continue, I just want to say thanks to all of the phenomenal viewers right now here. We have Hambo, we have Cristiano. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks all of you beautiful people for supporting me, and of course Sandrabullet here. She's phenomenal. So tell me one thing. Hello HGroove. Hello Hambo. If you want to say something to your community, you're more than welcome, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. What's up, Hambo, Guido, Cristiano? So these are some of my patrons are here. So I already have a patron, also have a Patreon page, and that has been like a key part of everything I've been able to do in the last year. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for being awesome to all of you who are here watching, because you guys are the reason why I'm able to do all this and being full-time in here also. Of course.
And I love that you having you here in the podcast so that you can share about your experience, because I remember that I think I saw in an interview or something that you said that you didn't start doing music, like you were doing something different. I think you're an engineer.
I'm a mechanical engineer. I have a master's degree. Yeah.
So that's totally unrelated to music, but you wanted to do music, and you know that of course starting music is tough. Like you can it's not like how it is, but
Yeah.
you have managed to like build a community and build your Patreon, and it's still growing and expanding. So I don't know, what can you tell us from that experience? Like,
Yeah,
how has
so
it been?
here in Portugal, I grew up thinking that being able to live as an artist or as a musician was all a matter of luck, right? You had to be discovered by a label and get famous in order to be able to make a living out of music. And I always believed in that, and I don't know anyone in my country that does the same thing I do. I'm a full-time musician, but I work mostly on the studio. So some people that live from music here in Portugal, they don't live very well. They just do live shows all the time. They do covers, they don't do originals. And the only people I know that live from originals are the big ones. And here in Portugal, being a small country, is just like the famous people, like, I don't know, 10 people or something in the whole country. Like, yeah. So I grew up thinking that's impossible. So, I just decided to have a plan B. And I decided to do one thing that I really like as well. I always loved to understand how things work and how machines work. And so,
amazing.
Yeah, mechanical engineering just came as a part of that. And I worked as a mechanical engineer also only for 2 years, because I always knew I wanted to be a musician. When I was a kid, I was like, I want to be a singer. I want to be a singer. That was always my dream. And I entered a garage band when I was like 18. So
that's when you started like your band with your friends and. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we met through the band. They had like this. They were looking for a vocalist, and I went there to an audition, and that's how I met them, and that's how I nailed the part. And that was my first experience with instruments. I've never even had seen instruments live, so I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." It sounded really bad, It was in a garage, but anyway, it was like so cool. I have that moment in my life, but they were only on this for fun, they never
it wasn't professional, or
they were so we never really went anywhere. And I really wanted to take it further, but I also didn't know how. And so and then later I started going online to online musicians communities, forums, and that's how I started realizing that there was a freelance market for artists. And so that's when I started recording vocals for other artists. And then the instruments came after, as I was getting more and more familiar with the instruments and learning more. Yeah. And that's how it all started. And then I was invited to this app that was starting live streaming. And, we met each other through the app. And yeah, the rest is history.
I see. There's something that I also wanted to ask. Is exactly about. You said that in order for you to be successful in music, you need a lot of luck. Do you think that has changed? I mean, of course, you need luck. This is a difficult industry and a difficult thing to make a life of. It's not impossible. But do you think things have changed? And if they have changed, what has it like give more chances to like independent artists? Let's say.
Yeah, I think first of all, I think that mentality that you need luck to succeed on anything, I think that's totally wrong. I mean, we make our own luck, right? I mean, if you sit and don't do anything, of course, luck is not going to find you, right? You have to search for it. You have to put yourself out there. You have to do the work. And sometimes you have to do boring work that you don't want to do, but you have to do anyway. You have to send emails. You have to put yourself out there. You have to reach out to radios. You have to take a lot of no's to get a yes. And sometimes it's frustrating, but that's how you build your own luck. And I think the internet is like this amazing tool. And I grew up in the 90s. I only had internet back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. So I only had internet like 12 years ago. And that has opened so many doors for me. And we are so lucky to have internet. And I think with COVID, many artists that were just performing live, and it was like, they were like, oh, the internet is not the same thing as performing live. That kind of, COVID made them realize that it's not like that. That it's being a streamer is not the same thing as being a live artist on stage. They're totally different things. And because you do you do both. So it's not the same thing. Sometimes I know some great streamers that cannot perform live on stage and vice versa. That's just the way it goes. So for me, it was also a challenge, and I had to put myself out there and discover. Currently, I love it, and I think it's an amazing way for artists all around the world to reach people all around the world too. And yeah, I couldn't have done this amazing community that I have today if it wasn't for the internet. So
yeah, you know what? I am glad that you take it that way. Because and other thing is that hello 21st Pilot, hello Neuro, they are beautiful members of my community. Please don't forget to follow sandrabullet if you can. Neuro is my moderator. He already gave you a shout out. Thanks so much for giving her a shout out. This is sandrabullet, everyone, and just gave Sandra a follow, says 21st Pilot. I'm so happy you did. You won't regret it. She's amazing, and much love to you, Neuro, as well, and to the amazing community of Sandra. And something that you were saying before is that it's true, like, we kind of create our own luck. I mean, at the end of the day, luck can also be like when opportunity meets preparation. You know, you have been like doing something that suddenly, I don't know, it goes on your favor. So most definitely, I do believe that a lot of the things that happen to ourselves in the good and the wrong, it is because of ourselves. You know, we have power on our lives and all of that. And I'm glad that you're taking the internet and taking this vision that a lot of people don't like, connecting with others that a lot of people don't see yet, don't you think? Do you think that we are kind of like new? I mean, not new, but early on this internet wave, on this streaming and.
Yeah, I think COVID changed that a lot, you know. And I'm not saying, of course, COVID was bad. I'm not saying it was good, but it also had some good. It also had some good things. I think it opened a lot. At least here in Portugal, I noticed a lot of changes. In the music industry, and now many people are discovering the power of the internet. I do feel that we were pioneers in a way that we were doing this before COVID, right? Yeah. So I do feel that we were pioneers, and now I see many people doing this, and now it's normal. But when we started, it wasn't.
Yeah. And for me, it was, of course, as you were saying, like COVID, that year was nothing good. You know, it was like really tough, everything closed, everyone at home. But on the other hand, there was a renaissance in some way, because for example, I started live streaming and connecting with people online that live in other parts of the world, like you, for example. I'm in California and you're in Portugal. So, and you end up creating these like strong connections. Like, I've met so many friends through this app, and, you know, experiences that I probably wouldn't have lived like physical, you know, being on a place. So I think there's actually really unique. And yeah, and for all of you that don't know, like, me and Sandra, we met like on sessions. That was it was a live streaming platform where we used to perform, and it just didn't work out. And I'm just glad we're here on Twitch.
We call it on my streaming the platform that shan't be named.
Yeah, I know. I heard
we
that
have like
because
that.
You want to give them like clout. Yeah, but they won't get to Twitch. Like, I think that Twitch is unique, and it just gives a lot of.
Twitch was already here, right? Twitch was like the OG platform for streamers, and I remember it was actually a fun story, because you're saying I think we create opportunities. And fun fact, it's when I was already thinking about starting to stream, and I created an account on Twitch, and I already had my account on Instagram, on YouTube. And then that's when Sessions reached out to me. Back then they were called Beat Fever. They were just starting out.
I remember that.
And
crazy.
So it was like an amazing coincidence, because I was thinking I want to go live, and actually I created my account, the sandrabullet here, so I could have my username here reserved for me. But back then was a lot more about gamers, and not so much
it was about
artists,
like you're talking about
musicians.
You're talking about
Twitch. Exactly. So back then it was a lot more for gamers. And actually, I read on some forums that musicians they were like, for now it's okay to stream on Twitch as a musician, but back then, you know, gamers didn't look at musicians with really good eyes back then. And I was thinking, should I go there? Should I not go? And then Sessions just appeared, and I was like, this is not coincidence. I thought, like, when you're searching for something, then something just pops out and just appears in front of you. Like, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think like that's the universe saying, yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Yeah. True story. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
broken
it
the
is.
11th commandment. See,
That's
everybody
what
is.
that's
I
what
said the name. I'm sorry.
and I said the name too. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but yeah, exactly. So he's saying the platform should not be named. They sent me an email proposing me to find and indicate artists to their shift platform. No,
What?
like they wanted
What?
to. No. Yeah, they
Really?
also been
Shadow.
contacted me and stuff like that. But
Oh
that's what
man.
they do. But something I have to say is that sessions or Beat Fever, it gave me the push a little bit,
Yeah.
because a
Definitely.
lot of
Definitely.
my community members, they came from sessions. Like that's where I
Yeah.
met them, and that's where I
No, but
met
same
a
thing.
lot of musicians like Fernan,
Yeah.
Sandra, CNV,
Exactly.
and others. And actually, that has helped a lot because that's the beginning of a community.
Yeah, I know. I'm not about yeah, and I have to say, in the beginning, I just love the concept that they had. Up until Next Music, things start changing in Next Music. But
They used
in
to
the
care a lot
beginning, yeah, they were all about the artists, and they were always,
about the
I
artist.
remember I had like weekly calls with them, just saying what was going on that was good, what was bad, and stuff like that. They were really great when they were getting started, but then they changed and they started being more about business and not as much about artists. And then, yeah, and so yeah. But I'm not saying I'm not ditching them. I'm thankful for all the
Yeah.
opportunities and all the artists and amazing people I met through them. But nowadays it's just about business and that's it.
Yeah,
So-
no, and it's kind of weird because they also used to like inflate the numbers on a week.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I remember having like
Totally,
500,
yeah.
and some people used to be tricked at it. Like I used to be tricked, and I used to like believe that I really had like
No,
a lot of people
but-
watching me, but
But when they started, when they were Beat Fever, I remember I had in one session I had 20,000 people watching. But that was real because back then, it started as a gaming platform. It was a game. It was a game, and then they had artists live, and so there were many people using that. They were just playing the game, and the game was actually really cool. It was like a Guitar Hero on a phone. Yeah, and so they really had that. People, you saw the chat. It was like on fire. But then they changed when it started being Next Music and the app started crashing and stuff like that. People just moved away, especially on sessions, since they separated the gaming part from the streaming part. Yeah, that was.
And the software, it wasn't as good. It used to have a lot of problems. Sometimes you couldn't log in. Like Twitch is so much better. And for example, right now that we are using StreamYards, like these tools are like so like smooth and easy to work on. So that
But you have to, and when I get started, we streamed using a YouTube unlisted link. So we used to stream to YouTube, and then they would incorporate the YouTube link. We would pass the YouTube link, copy paste it on Skype, and then they would introduce that into the platform.
Skype, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
we
my
had to have
question
like
is,
Skype opened and something like that. It was really.
did you
awesome.
started live streaming during the pandemic or earlier? Like how was your beginning into live streaming?
Yeah, it was before. I was one of the founding artists of the platform. Actually,
Of Beat Fever,
my
in
first
that-
streaming. Yeah, my first streaming was January 31st in 2019.
Wow! So you were streaming like because I started on around. I did my audition February 2020.
Yeah. No, I was. From all the artists that we know, I'm the one that has been. I asked once, and I was the one that was there the longest.
Wow.
Then we had Janelle and
Janelle.
Ruben Williams came. They came like in Janelle. I think she came in May, and I came in January. So it was a lot after me. So yeah. So I dealt with all these issues, and I just helped them build everything they have today. Yeah.
Yeah. How good are you with like technology? Would you consider yourself like tech savvy? You're an engineer.
Yeah, being a mechanical engineer, we are more about hardware, not as much about software. But I do have the basic skills, and when I don't know, I go look for it. I watch tutorials, and everything I know today, even the mixing and mastering stuff that I do, I learn all by myself watching tutorials. So if I don't know, I go search for it, and I try. If I make mistakes, that's okay.
It's the amazing thing about the internet is like you can show yourself as a musician, build a community, but also you can learn from many areas. So it just gives us a lot of opportunity. And I'm a big fan of technology. I love it. I am always like searching. And besides being a content creator, I don't know, like pushes you to kind of like be aware of what's happening. I think, you know, like what's the best thing to do, what's the best platform to be at, how to like develop quality content. And that's something that I've been like noticing about your videos, is that they are getting better, and they weren't bad. They were never bad, but they're just getting better, you know?
Yeah, that's just the way, you know, I'm always trying new stuff. And I do
It's
feel like my
do it a lot.
Yeah, that too.
You know,
But my greatest breakthrough was with my video clip of my song Prisão dos Sonhos that you played in the beginning. So for that video clip, I had like these amazing ideas. And I just thought, you know, if I was going to make something professional, how would I do it? If I didn't have any limitations, what would I want to do? And then I wrote like this video script and this story. And then I just went backwards, and I like, okay, how can I do this? And then I learned how to do everything myself. And then I just use these techniques for what I do today, you know, my other videos.
For me, that has a lot of value, because of course you could have gone to like, I don't know, probably an experienced director and have like a really cinematic professional video. But I think that by you doing it, you are like learning, and you're just gonna become better at it. Like that's something that I'm noticing with my videos too. For example, like I remember I started like being consistent on YouTube, because I created my account on like 2013, you know, but it was just an account, you know. But I would say that I started like
I think it's the same thing here. Yeah.
Yeah, but like probably like 2020, I started like being more consistent, and my videos are becoming like better, you know. It's like I get
practice makes perfection. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
How long have you been doing YouTube?
So I think my YouTube, yeah, it must been like almost the same as you. I think I had my account for like 10 years or something like that. And even when I was working, before I start live streaming on sessions, I was doing freelance pretty much 100% of the time. And I already had like, I think I had 160 subscribers already on YouTube, just because people knew me and they would go there and subscribe me. But I had like, I don't know if I had any videos there, but live streaming was actually what pushed me to start making videos, because people were asking me for it. People were like, I really want to see your videos. I want to see you making covers. And so, yeah, I think that's one of the advantages of live streaming and connect with your fans, because they start pushing you. Like, when is your next original song coming out? When is your next video coming out? And then when I created a Patreon page 1 year ago, we are celebrating 1 year of Patreon very soon. Yeah. And 1 year of Twitch too.
Nice.
So yeah, so
that's kind of big deal.
It is. I'm going to make a special party tomorrow. I think I'm doing about some giveaway. I still have to think about it. But anyway, when I started creating my Patreon page, one things that I signed up for was doing a bulletized cover per month. But I was a time when I was doing sessions almost full time. It came to a point that I was making one bulletized cover per week. And I was like, since I do all the instruments and the videos and oh my gosh,
that's
that was
a lot. Like, how much time are you putting? It's like a full-time job, but that's the way to actually work on it, because you're treating your a project as a full-time job, and I think that's gonna return. You know?
Yeah. But now I do it once per month, because I have other things going on, and you know, my priority is of course my original music. Covers are important to reach more people, and I have a lot of fun doing my bulletized versions, to be honest.
So we end up seeing like all of the genres that you like you can end up doing a song from Metallica and then a song from like Michael Jackson. I don't know, you know, it's like that's what I think about covers, you know. It's like, in order for me to develop a voice, to be more confident on the stage, like I listened to many other artists before, you know.
Same thing here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not wrong with doing that.
I think it shows. And it also shows your fans like that you are not only a rock artist, that you also like other genres, and sometimes they connect with you. And on my bulletized covers, actually my patrons choose the cover that I'm going to do every month. It's one of the perks. They have like a poll, and I always give 3 choices. Sometimes they tell me which choice they want to make, which song, and then they vote between each other, and that's how we choose the winner. So
that's so really cool. Because I remember that I was like, hey Sandra, we should collaborate, like, because I remember that I remember like when I started sessions, Clarissa showed me, and she was like, oh, you are cool, whatever. And like Clarissa Diogno,
I know,
really
she's
cool
awesome.
Canadian streamer,
amazing.
influencer, artist.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you should collaborate with Sandra Bullet. I think you guys do something cool." And I was like, "Yeah." So I then check out your streams. We didn't know each other, but I was like, "Yeah, I hope one day we can do something." And then we did the You Ought to Know, which honestly I love.
Yeah.
It was really cool content, and I remember you telling me that. So I want you to give us a little bit more information. But before you give us more information regarding Patreon, I would like to know more about it. Let's take a look at the chat, because I see that they're having a conversation here, which I love and appreciate. And all right, so they won't wave my hand at them. They won't have my hand waving for them. If you do something with my beloved, you're doing it with me. All right, I think I'm a little bit lost, but yeah, I guess at the end of the day, if it hadn't been for the platform that shouldn't be named, I may well have not ever seen Sandra.
Yeah.
Okay? It's great to try new things. I believe it. Like, there's some things that are good to try for the first time, always. Ha 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 ha. Please guide me and lead me away from being, I'm sorry, it's second nature me. Okay, I might not, my friend. That's an essential and lovely part of you, and I'm sure it's part of the magic you use to catch Lady Danny. Okay, well, that's some interesting comments from the community.
My chat is, we always have like very good time, you know, and my streaming, we always keep it fun. And some of us have like dirty minds, and so we are always making fun with things. And so they are coming. And Cristiano is like our wizard in service, because he always wins every giveaway.
Oh,
so
wow.
he's a really powerful magician. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I definitely have to catch more of your streams, but every time you're streaming, I'm either like at work or like, you know,
because we are in totally different time zones, of course.
It's like right now, it's like middle of the day. And, you know, on Wednesdays, sometimes like at around this time, like people are like working outside. And I was like, I hope no one's going to be making noises, but thankfully that's not going to happen. So, yeah. So I want you to tell us a little bit more about your Patreon if possible. But before we continue, I just want to show everyone the emotes that I have, because I really like my emotes. Do you have emotes too? Of course you have emotes.
Yeah, I have. I have to be honest. There you go. Cristiano is using one of them. To be honest, I want to make more. I made some of them getting started, but I really wanted to make more. So
it's like digital merch. I really like
it's really cool. And I also have, talking about merch, I also have some merch, and I have some personalized t-shirts that I do every month. So yeah, that's another part.
That's interesting to know. Okay, so tell us about your Patreon. So how does it work? How much it costs monthly? What does it include?
Okay, so I have several tiers.
Link?
Yeah, it's just sandrabullet, patreon.com/sandrabullet.
I'll check it out right now. Will you explain? And I'll post it on the chat.
So I have several tiers. The lowest is like $2 per month. So I like to keep it low so everybody can be a part of it. It's just like going outside and getting a coffee. But then it goes up until $100 per month if you really want to support my work. And if you can, of course, most people can't. But if you can, there are several tiers and a lot of tiers in between you can choose from. Some of the perks are, of course, voting in my next bulletized cover. Also access to a special streaming that happens every month that is exclusive for patrons. I have one happening on Thursday, and the theme of that streaming is also chosen by patrons. This month we'll be doing a special unexpected piano covers of famous songs. And then, of course, you also have a priority request. So if you are my patron, you can request a song, and it will have priority over other requests. The highest the tier, the highest your priority. So you always get one request for sure. Okay, if you are not my patron and if you drop by my live.
So Sandra, let me share it. Can I share it? And let me see what Cristiano says. He says, when will it be the next partnership with Sandra?
Our next collaboration?
I don't know. We have to talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it today, but most definitely we're going to have another one. And I would like to work on an original song with you, but let's talk about later. Let's continue with the... That would be awesome. And it says, any spoilers? Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but right now we're going to continue a little bit on the Patreon because I think it's really interesting. So I have it here. And I don't have it here actually. I was gonna share it, but what you were saying is awesome. I see that you're
I can
saying
put the
that.
link here if you like.
No. I already got it. I just wanted to share
Okay.
it, but I just couldn't share it. So $2 per month, $5 and $10, and you're saying that you're also offering a tier for $100.
Yeah, no, there's also a 25 and a 50. The 50 is cool because you get the personalized t-shirt every month. So I do make t-shirts that I design myself every month, and every month they are different. They are limited edition, people can buy them, but if you are the $50 on the $50 tier, you get it for free. So all you need to do is just let me know which size you want, which color you want, and I send it to you. So currently, I do have a patron on that tier, and I send him a T-shirt every month. So he gets a personalized T-shirt too. So it's cool. It's cool, and I also have a lot of fun designing T-shirts. Something that I learned also how to make personalized merch, and something that sometimes I use sentences that people on my chat and that watch my streaming know that what they're about. So we have a private joke about whales and something like that.
So it's like part of the Sandra bullet culture.
Totally.
We all have a culture.
Totally.
It's like, for example, here we are the Groovy gang. And I do things, I say things that people know about me, and there's commands.
Exactly.
I suppose it's the same regarding you,
totally.
but that's cool because that's a healthy community of like.
Yeah, we have the bullet hats. The bullet hats. So sometimes it's the bulleteers too. They like to change their names, but yeah, we have like those private jokes about Cristiano being the wizard and and something like a Hambo mind, because Hambo is like. And yeah, Hambo will say that no, it's me that has a dirty mind. It's not him. Anyway, but when I have like this thought about something, I always say, oh, I have a Hambo thought, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. So it's really cool. We have those private jokes, and of course, sometimes we have new people coming up, but everybody on my community is extremely welcoming, and everybody, one of the best feedbacks that I had, and it was from a person that just dropped by my streaming the other day for the first time. He was like, he was there with me for 2 hours and with my community, and then in the end he was like, oh, I feel so good after your live. And that was, for me, that was like the best feedback ever, right? To make people feel good. I think it's so important, and
or
it's
to inspire.
It's so rewarding for us, right?
Because
we put our music out there, we put ourselves out there. It's not only our music, it's ourselves too.
Ourselves, our brand, who we are.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much of an impact you have in someone whenever you inspire them. Like, you leave a positive landmark. Like, they're like, wow, Sandra Bullet is amazing. They want to be like,
I have like this shelf of things that I've gotten since I started streaming. And I have things from India, and I have things from the UK and United States.
People send?
Yeah, people send, and that is really awesome. And I have like some postcards and some personal messages that people send me. And for instance, I have an artist from India, and it was one of the first people that watched me on sessions. And she's an amazing painter, and she painted a portrait of me and sent me this amazing Indian necklace. Wow. And she was like, thank you for inspiring me in believing more into my art. And she created a page, and now she sells sometimes some of her art, and it's so amazing that she was inspired by me. And that is like, there are no words to describe that feeling. And I have them here in my studio, so every time when I'm not feeling as well, I have those messages there, and sometimes it's all I need. Just look at those messages and remember, that's why I'm doing this. That's why we are doing this. That's why we are sharing our talent with the world. It's just to inspire other people.
Most definitely. And I think it's working well for you in different ways. It's actually like, and you're giving to the community with all of these like inspiration, help, and like, music, creativity. I was gonna say, how many instruments do you play?
So my main instrument is my voice. That's what I always say, because it's what I've been doing for the longest time. It's what I'm most comfortable. Then I learned the guitar because I wanted to show my original. I never had any training in music. So I've never had any lessons. And so when I started coming out with songs, I had a really hard time explaining to the guys on the band, how was I envisioning the songs. And so that's why I started learning the guitar, at least the basic chords, so I could show them what I thought about, what I wanted for the music. And then the bass guitar came also, but now I take it more seriously. Now I already did some bass. Now I do bass lessons at least once per week. And now I know that, because when you start playing bass, you think it's the same thing as a guitar, and then it's not. When you start realizing, no, it's totally different. But yeah, and then I started learning a bit of drums too. So I could do MIDI drums. Usually, I don't use MIDI drums all the time, but to do really good MIDI drums, you need to know at least the basics of playing real drums. Otherwise, it won't sound nice at all. It would sound really bad. So that's why I started learning a bit of drums too. I just can do the basic beat, to be honest. I can do some breaks, but that's pretty much it. I'm not very proficient on drums.
But
I'm learning the piano too.
The piano? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm learning the piano
actually
too.
Amazing. And that's giving you a lot of help, because as singers, it is essential to have like instrument knowledge. I learned the bass when I was like 12, and right now I'm 29. So it's been some time playing. So that's why
so cool.
like the bass guitar for me is just like an extension of myself. And even the guitar, is like already just like part of who I am as a person, And 21st Pilot says, love the hanging CDs, by the way, Sandra.
Thank
it looks
you.
really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that was like an improv idea too. I was thinking about making a background, and actually I made this logo too. My logo, let's see, it's S&B. Okay, there you go. See, I also did it myself. And then I just had some CDs. I always saved CDs. Ever since I was a teenager, I began to save CDs. I always love them hanging. I love the reflections. Not I haven't bought a CD for a very long time, to be honest. I think the last CDs I bought, I used to buy all Britney Spears CDs. I was a big fan of Britney Spears when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, this was the thousands. So it was like when Backstreet Boys came along, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
The golden era. But you didn't like Limp Bizkit, for example? Limp Bizkit was on the heavy side, or Korn, or Rage Against. Well, that's earlier though.
Yeah, no, but I remember my first CD, one of the CDs that I had was like a mix of many songs. And it had like Rollin' from Limp Bizkit, and it had it had also a song by Papa Roach, and I'm
Last
thinking
Resort.
The Last Resort,
yeah, that's a classic.
I was so
Bangers.
man, and I used to listen to those on repeat for such a long time. They were all together, so I would just play one and another, and then of course I had like this really great friend of mine who introduced me to Linkin Park, and that was the beginning of my.
I love Linkin Park.
That was
Hybrid
the beginning.
Theory?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah,
that's an incredible.
Yeah, and that was the turning point when he introduced me to Linkin Park. And first I was like, "Oh, that guy just screams," but then no, you have to listen to the full album.
No,
and
he has an incredible voice.
Oh man! And when I started listening, and oh man, but this guy can sing. Oh, it was amazing. I remember taking the portable CD player to the bathroom because I couldn't stop listening.
Yeah,
and I had like
excellent.
Those portable CD players,
I need to listen to music almost all of the time. Like, there's a word for that. In Spanish, it's melómano. Do you speak a little bit of Spanish? A little bit, because you understand.
No, I understand. We here Portuguese, we understand pretty much all Spanish, but Spanish people cannot understand us because we close the words a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because we can understand Spanish, but Spanish people cannot understand Portuguese.
You know what is interesting is that I remember that I was talking to Rafa on a podcast, and I was like, is there a difference? Because there is a difference between like Brazilian Portuguese and Portugal Portuguese.
Many Brazilians cannot understand Portugal
he
Portuguese.
Prefers talking in English because there's differences, and he doesn't want to. If it's like Spanish from Spain and Spanish from Latin America, like I can speak Spanish.
The thing
like,
here, the thing is, most Portuguese people can understand Brazilians really well because we do have a lot of Brazilian TV and a lot of Brazilian music here. So we know how they sound like, and we know the expressions they use. But they have absolutely nothing from us there. They don't watch our TV. They don't listen to our music.
They don't listen to the dubs
here,
neither.
When they come here, they don't understand us at all.
Yeah,
and we talk really fast compared to them.
Like for example, compared to like Spanish from Spain, it is more like European, like American Spanish from the Americas. It is I don't know, it's different. It's like more from the land, you know. It's mixed with like all of the people with the Native Americans that were living here, and it is different. It is different Spanish, which I think is interesting. But yeah, I suppose it's the same with like Portuguese. That's like a side detail I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
So let me read what's happening here. It says, Sandra's technique on the bass is original. I guess her use of the right thumb comes from the guitar. Would you say that's correct? But Guido knows you.
Yeah, Guido is one of my patrons, and he's also a bass player, so he knows what he's talking about.
I'm a bassist too. Yeah, Guido just followed me on Twitch. Thank you, Guido. You're
I use a lot of and now I don't use my right thumb as much. But yeah, sometimes when I get tired using, because I still get tired, you know, and then I go for the thumb because you
know, if you want some advices or tips, like I can teach you like techniques, because like I use my whole hand whenever I'm playing, like this and the thumb.
Yeah.
And, like
it is even amazing. The thing is, I do feel I still need I still lack some elasticity on my fingers, even when playing the guitar. So it's not only a bass thing. I do have I do want to learn more about the guitar, and I'm trying to practice at least every day for 15 minutes. And I use this app called Musician that has amazing exercises. Nice. And I also I already did a Twitch streaming of me playing, and you can see it has the fingers that you should use and all that.
Nice.
And that has helped me a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, but you know, I still feel that I still feel that I'm stuck. You know, I still feel that I do still need to think about what I'm doing. When it comes naturally, it's awesome, but I still need to practice a lot for it to come automatically. Yeah.
You know, and what is it's also crazy is like all of these apps and technologies are like challenging the education industry as we know it. You know, you don't have to go to like an institute or like a teacher.
Yeah,
you can get an app.
Some things it's true. But some things a teacher cannot replace a teacher. Yeah, I remember once when I remember once when I was doing a live show, and my guitar technique wasn't as it was today. This was like 6-7 years ago. And a person from the audience came to me and it was like, "Oh, it's awesome, I love the show, I just want to give you some advice." He played the guitar. You know, don't put your hand, you know, don't put your hand like that. Put it closer. You can see that it will be a lot easier for you to play, and it will not you will not get tired as much. And I was like, oh, okay. I start doing that. It was, oh my gosh, it was such a great advice. And you know, no app could tell you that, right?
Yeah, because they cannot
I had like that feedback. Exactly.
But imagine if they get to the point where like there's a camera and they see you and they have like AI and they're like, correct your posture.
Yeah, they wear a glove and they can see if you're doing fine or not.
That could be possible, but I think that if that happens, also like humans will become smarter. But everything can happen. I'm just speculating with like the future and all of that.
No, the technology, the technology nowadays is it's amazing, especially with the virtual reality. We do have a lot of good technology here. I do feel that, you know, well, I have internet, fiber internet, so that's cool.
Nice.
And we have, I think we are implanting 5G now also. Yeah. So yeah, we are being in Europe, you know, we get access to.
But the 5G is controlled by the lizard people. No, I'm joking. It is a joke.
We never know. We never know. No, I had like this friend the other day that he was saying that since he took the vaccine shots, that he has less service on his cell phone, and we were laughing like crazy.
But was he or she was the person being serious?
No, he was kidding.
No,
He's always
that's a nice
joking.
joke. Yeah, but it's
But
crazy.
he was talking like he was talking serious. But of course he was joking.
So-
but it was really fun.
A side question, random question. Do you believe in UFOs?
Do I believe in UFOs? You know, I do like to keep my mind open to things that I don't know for sure. You know, and I won't say that I believe. I've never seen one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've never seen one, but I like to keep my mind open.
Exactly.
We never know. We never know. And I do believe in life. If you're telling me life on other planets, I 100% sure that exists. I mean, the universe is so big, that has to be life. But is that life so intelligent that they can come here and visit? That I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
That's a different subject.
No, it's interesting. And that's a question that I like asking a lot of people, because I have like a fascination for that topic, even though like I see it like with like, you know, a science fiction. It's not that I believe and this was going to happen. Like, and it's because when I was like so young, I went to this library and there was like this book of like supposedly like UFO abductions and real cases. But it wasn't like
my parents had like this collection of books of UFOs in history, and I was addicted to it at a point when I was a teenager. They has a lot of sightings, and they were talking about the Egyptian pyramids and everything. And I love Stargate, by the way. So
there's stories of this like supposedly like alien that comes to Earth and then ends up like reproducing with this like dude, and he was like telling the experience like how it was and all of this, and I don't know, it's like all of these like weird like things that I remember, and that kind of like shocked me a little bit, like on an interesting point of view, like is this real, is this not real?
Yeah.
And I remember reading that when I was like really young. Exactly.
Yeah, but I like to keep my mind open. I do feel that we cannot say like, oh, that's not true, right? We have to keep our minds open, and that's the way actually science progresses, right? Right? If science was like you know, back then, if Galileo was not like trying to understand further and not keep his mind open, he would never realize that the sun was actually standing still and the earth was moving, right? So yeah, that's just you have to keep your mind open. It's just
no, it's important in any senses, because like things change, and because like
what is true today will not be true tomorrow.
And because like pandemics weren't a real thing until COVID. I mean, pandemics existed, but not as like on the scales we saw 2 years ago. You know, that was kind of like unbelievable at the beginning.
But there is a pattern. Every 100 years, it comes a pandemic like this.
Wow.
No,
yeah,
there is. There was the they called the Spanish flu, and it happened 100 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. That is interesting. That is interesting.
There is a pattern. There is a pattern of pandemics. It's really interesting. Yeah.
So let's see what else that we have here. 21st Pilot. Sorry for the things that there's a lot of conversation and interesting things to say, but the chat is saying 2000 had great music, which I agree.
Oh, I was lucky,
Eminem,
you know.
Korn.
I feel so lucky. I was born in 87. So I experienced the full 90s and the thousands, and I feel so grateful. And I also experienced a childhood without a lot of technology.
I love
and
that.
I think that was awesome. You know, that was awesome. I am so fortunate. And my parents had like this record player, cassette player, and CD player. So I have everything. I have vinyl players.
Cassettes.
I have cassette. My car has a cassette player. I have a 30-year-old car, and it has a cassette player, and I'm not changing it. I just think it belongs there.
That's cool.
I do have like a cassette adapter that I can put my phone there. It has a jack adapter, so yeah, it was a cool thing. But I still have some cassettes. Most of my parents' home, but yeah.
But yeah, I remember like growing up without technology, like phones
and actually,
or computers.
I do have a mural with some of my memories there, some stuff that I collected over years, and I have one cassette there that it was a cassette. It's the cassette from my childhood. You know, I grew up listening to Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos is a Brazilian artist.
Carlos.
And back in the
Spanish
60s,
too.
And do you know that he was actually the person who brought rock to Brazil back in the 60s?
I didn't know.
You didn't know? You have to hear his tracks from the 60s and the 70s, but mostly the 60s. And I have like a cassette of him there that was like, I absolutely love that tape. It's called the Roadhog in English, but it's Calhambeck and it's so rock and
I'm gonna
roll.
check it
It's
out.
so cool. You have to check it out.
I like
It has so many
the
cool songs.
yeah. He's huge. Like he was huge for Latin culture as well.
Yeah, now he's like a romantic singer.
Yeah, like with
Now he's in
amigo.
his
Tu
80s.
eres na, 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 na.
And
Or like
that
El
one
Gato que
that
do
one's
you know
that one
el
is from the 80s or early 70s,
yeah
or late
yeah
70s, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah
He
but
changed every decade. He's a different singer. So he started in the 50s, and in the 50s he was like very romantic but sweet. Those songs from the 50s, very romantic and sweet and funny a bit. And then in the 60s he started turning into rock and roll, and he started this movement called the Jovem Guarda, which was with other singers, and he had like a TV show where he introduced rock singers and stuff. It was amazing.
wow.
And then in the 70s he started being a lot more emotional, but a lot more introspective. And so in the 80s then he had like a lot more introspective. Every decade is different, but for me it's up until the 90s. In the 90s I stopped listening. Then he became a lot religious. On the 90s his wife died, so he was going through experiencing a Catholic religion and stuff. He has a lot of Catholic and Christian songs in the 90s, and that's when I stopped listening.
He became like religious. He became Christian,
yeah,
Catholic.
he was always religious, but in the 90s that was a lot more prominent in his songs. Yeah.
So you do listen to a lot of Brazilian music. I mean, I just know a couple. I just know the people that like switch.
Yeah, that's the
Like-
thing. Here in Portugal, we listen to a lot of Brazilian music, and my dad loves Roberto Carlos. He was like a huge fan of Roberto Carlos since always. He was the one who introduced me to Roberto Carlos from the 60s, because my dad was born in 49. So his teenager songs and early adult songs. And also my dad always liked sertanejo, which is kind of country music, Brazilian music, similar to country, but Brazil
But
they call
Brazilian.
sertanejo. Yeah, and back in the 90s they had like this also some artists that I grew up listening to. So yeah, I grew up listening to that kind of Brazilian music. So yeah, I don't listen to that anymore. Besides Roberto Carlos, I always go back to his songs, and they are kind of my feel-good songs. I know them by heart. I know everything that's going to happen on those songs. So especially when I'm cleaning or doing other stuff, I'm always listening to Roberto Carlos.
I love Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, but of course Rita Lee is also amazing. I don't know if you know her.
I don't know too much. So you listen to a lot of Portuguese music, like music in Portuguese.
Yeah, but especially from my country. To be honest, I don't listen to a lot of music from my country.
Is there like how was the musical scene or like the?
So here in Portugal, we had a really good period in the. We had the rock boom here in Portugal was in the 80s. And so we have a lot of good music in the 80s. The 90s were amazing also here in Portugal. But then, on the thousands and lately, I mean, we are so into pop music, and it's
EDM,
like
kind of like
not EDM. No. It's like pop, slow pop, acoustic pop. Like what?
Like ballad, like romantic ballad.
Yeah, but it's not even a romantic ballad. It's a sad ballads, and I do feel like now things are starting to change, and rock is starting to become more prominent. But I do feel that we got to a point that almost all artists sound the same. It's like slow songs and very. Oh man, and I to be honest, I don't listen.
Not your thing.
I don't. Yeah, no. And I remember some of my fans. I show some tracks to them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it sounds just like the previous one." And they do sound a lot alike. And so I do listen to some artists that were huge in the 90s, and they are still active. Most of our rock bands, our most famous rock bands, they were formed in the 80s, and they are still active today. So you don't see new bands emerging.
I remember a song
now.
that you played once. I think I requested on your stream. It was like Latino America, I think it was.
Latino America, Já Fumega. That song is from the 80s
I love that song.
Early 90s.
That song, like, he's like a person that loves Latin America, and like, I don't know, I just have you been in Latin America?
I've never been. No.
We got you want to be famous person on the chat.
Oh yeah.
No, it's cool. Have you been to other countries?
So I've been to Spain more than once, and I've been to the UK twice too.
Yeah, because Spain is next to it's
yeah, it's next door. Everybody from Portugal goes to Spain at least once. It's like we just go there and drive. We have our country is really small, so you don't have to drive that much to go to Spain.
Yeah, like Europe is like, I mean, Europe is kind of like that. Like everything's close.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But from Spain, France is already a big country. Well, comparing to Portugal, but here in Portugal we are really small. But no, to be honest, I really want to start traveling more, and my goal is traveling like at least once per year. Start exploring other countries, especially now. Especially now that I know so many people around the world, right? And can't wait to meet some people. But yeah, that's the thing with COVID.
Well,
I couldn't, right? And now I'm just trying to grow my album, trying to grow my audience, and trying to grow and escalate so I can get to a point that I can start traveling and start touring also. Yeah.
If you go to California, let me know. Maybe we can
for sure.
perform together, jam, do something cool there.
For sure.
If not, we're gonna end up performing on the metaverse, like on virtual reality or something like that.
Oh, that would be so cool too. Yeah, and I think that's really close. I think that's closer than we think.
It is possible. I think we're laughing right now about it, but I think it can be possible in a couple of years later. Who knows?
No, that is. I was watching this amazing discussion that they were having, about the Matrix saga is one of my favorite. It's my favorite saga, and nice. I love the Matrix. And I was watching an interview of Keanu Reeves because they actually created some scenes in virtual reality. They did a Keanu Reeves
the last one?
version on the last one, the Matrix 4 that just came out. They used shootings of Keanu Reeves back in 99 when they made the first Matrix to do some scenes on this one, and it's like you almost cannot see the difference. You can only see if you start noticing some details when the character is moving, but it's so close. And they were just having like this discussion in this interview and saying, one day you will have like 3D versions of every actor.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, and they don't even need to act anymore. They just like sell the rights. And then that movie, and they were just like, that is the future, that is the future. People just have the rights to their image, and then, okay, you can do a movie with me, you create this. They don't even need to work anymore.
Happening.
Yeah.
Same with like all of these like crypto and decentralized, money.
Yeah, the coins. Yeah.
Movements. That's also like really revolutionary. Not everyone is like accepting or understanding it yet.
No, because with the money, it's kind of a sensitive subject, because once you cannot control money, right? How can you trace criminals? It's like, especially
that's the bad part of it.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Like legitimate changes can happen, but also illegitimate. And
yeah,
no
totally.
And
especially, people, we have corruption all around the world, and people just stealing money from the government.
But
public
what, for
money.
example, it is interesting about crypto right now is that, for example, people in Ukraine that cannot access their banks right now, they are like exchanging money through crypto. So I think that I think that there's like a positive aspect of it, but it should definitely be controlled one way or another. I mean, yeah, that's what is weird, because the banks control everything, and the banks can be dirty too. I think right now it's like a wild west, because it's something so new. Like, remember when the internet was new and everyone like YouTube had like everything, like it wasn't regulated. Like nowadays it's regulated. Like if you say something that they don't like, or you show something, then they're gonna be like on you. And
even if you post, when you post a cover, they trace it right away. Like,
so that's something I want to talk about too.
Sharing royalties
that is interesting
with
for
the
people
owner.
to hear. I don't know if we should talk about this right now, or we should like probably make you perform you want to perform, or if not, we can show your music video.
Okay, I think we can show our music video. That would be cool.
Let me show you your music video. But before, I'm gonna say before I don't want to forget it, but I wanted you to tell us how does like monetizing on YouTube works, and like how does it work with covers? Because for example, on my cover videos, it says like you cannot monetize. And I remember that we had like a conversation with Fernando. Do you remember?
Yeah, I have it on my channel. I still have that video.
But that's
on my channel.
Unlisted? Yeah, because
it's unlisted. Yeah, but if you want to watch it again, I can send you the link.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I kind of remember, but
yeah, the thing is, once your channel reached to 1,000 subs, that's when you get all the options. Because when you still don't have 1,000 subs and you don't have your channel monetized, it just says that it can't be monetized, right?
Yeah.
But then what happens when you upload a cover is that YouTube automatically recognizes that as a cover song. And what happens is that you share the revenue with the original artist. So you get one part, and then the original artist gets one part. Some artists, however, do not allow monetizing of their songs. I have to be honest, in all the songs that I've done, that never happened. They always allow sharing. So, but I remember Fernand mentioning some artists, especially Guns N' Roses, and I think
and also like the
Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think so too.
The Eagles, I think, Hotel California.
The Eagles are really bad, but the Eagles block right away is just because they cannot stand each other, I think, and so they
have a lot of issues.
They are just like
opinions in one band or one song.
Exactly. But most, I have never had an issue so far. They always allow you to monetize. Of course, you don't earn as much of those videos as you earn with tutorials, for instance. My best performing videos are the tutorial ones when I'm talking. And
shorts do good too. Like, it is crazy because like I upload shorts of my stream, things that happened. And the other day, because are you a gamer? I also game. And I upload like gaming video, and suddenly like the gaming video shorts are the ones that are getting like the most traction.
Okay.
And
usually I don't play games anymore. It's really, I used to play a lot when I was a teenager. And we're talking about Super Mario and OG games, right?
Yeah.
But I've thought about maybe doing, because I still have like that Super Mario game somewhere, and I do that like in 10 seconds because I know everything by heart. So.
I would love to see Sandrabullet playing Super Mario speed running, like, because
I'm really
for the way that I see it.
I remember once, I was showing that I had like this friend, and she's like, she's almost 15 years younger than me, and she has a younger brother, and they have never saw like an 8-bit console before, and they saw it, and they were like trying to play, and it's like, this is really hard, and I'm like, how can that be hard? And then I give me that, and I was like, zoop. And they're like, what have you done? Like, how did you do that? Many hours. And so and then I thought maybe one day, but what I really want to do now, and that's the project that I want to do, is go live while I'm actually learning the instrument and using musician, because musician is kind of like playing a game. You have to hit the notes right, and you have high scores.
It's like Guitar Hero.
It's like Guitar Hero, but with real instruments, and that's really cool. And so that's one thing that I really wanted to start doing, and especially because I'm also learning an instrument while doing it. So I think it's a win-win. It's a win-win. But maybe in the future I'll go live. No, I think I need to buy another console system though, because the keys don't work really well anymore. Unless you stream
from your phone. But that's interesting, because I've heard once that if they continue making like education as a game, like, for example, you're playing guitar, but it's almost as if you're playing a game. Like, more people are gonna succeed at it. More people are gonna have fun. Because if not,
exactly.
And that's like, I think that's something interesting to pay attention. Like,
no, that's the goal. I just love musician because of that. They have like those you get gold stars if you get all the notes right. And I make that my personal goal, and I perform a song like 1,000 times, but I have to get it. I have to get the gold star.
It's like a game.
And it's so satisfying when you do it. When you do it, you're like,
and you end up doing progress. But that's why, like, I think that there's a lot of things like humanity can learn from gaming. Of course, like everything can be addictive, and
Oh yeah, but I do
but
believe all games are educational. I do believe
they
in
could
even
be.
some
They could be.
they can be, but at least
Any excess
coordination.
is bad. Like if you're like
yeah.
on excess watching
Of
series every
course.
day, then of course that's not bad. That's bad. But if you're
But
doing it every
that
now and then,
happens
that's,
also. I know some musicians that like have like 20 guitars and they spend all their money on guitars. That's like not good either, right?
I mean, unless you're a professional in like making money out of it, and
but if you're making, I mean, if you have the money, go ahead and spend it in what you want. But I know some musicians that have like so much money on guitars, and then when COVID came, they didn't have a studio equipment, and they didn't have money to buy studio equipment. So I'm like, I have 7 guitars, and they're a lot more than I need. So yeah, I do feel like everything should be balanced in your life. Same thing with studio, because it's a whole world. Technology evolves. What you buy today, tomorrow will have a better version, but you have to compromise. That's just the way things are.
It is. And I think like everything balanced is good for your mind, because you should do things that you enjoy. You should be happy and find things that will help your brain function better, so then whenever you have to do more difficult stuff, you'll be more relaxed,
Yeah, I do feel like, again, being raised in the 90s, I do feel like, for me, social media is not, sometimes in the bad way, because, as a musician, you have to have social media. You have to post stuff. You know how it is. You have to be present, and people want to know what you're doing. So I do have, now not as much, but when I was getting started, I had to force myself to post, because it wasn't natural to me. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I'm so focused on doing stuff, I don't remember making stories or taking pictures, because
I see.
It's not my essence. I wasn't born with that. On my childhood, we just wanted to play. We didn't want to show the world what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
We just wanted to be in the moment. But that also gave me like that background of just being in the moment. And sometimes it's important to disconnect and, just turning off your internet. And now when I'm working, I start doing this plan last week. And during mornings, I don't check my phone. I don't have my internet turned on. I don't check any messages. In the morning is just for things that I really want to do.
That's awesome.
It just blew my mind how much stuff I got done.
Yeah.
Just checking the messages during lunch and after lunch. That's when I check the messages. And oh my gosh, my productivities in the mornings are like...
Yeah, because it's like as it puts your mind somewhere else. Because, for example, let's say that you wake up and you check a message that is related to a work or something that you have, and then that puts your mind somewhere else.
You have to answer, right? Especially me. I'm one of those people that I hate to have notifications on my phone. When I have a notification, I have to see what it is, and I have to take care of it. And if I don't, my brain keeps thinking, oh, you have to answer that person. You have to take care of that. And especially when you are doing so many things at a time, I mean, you just have to turn off and focus, and then you go ahead and answer. Nobody will die if you don't answer the messages right away.
And besides, also like your work is doing music and producing, and that's like your area, like that's why, like, for example, when you're doing a music video or something like with a bigger budget, there's like people working on every detail, like custom design, makeup. Because if I am doing a video and I'm also doing the custom design, but my main thing to do is to act, let's say, I could forget. Like, I could be like focused on acting. I just want to get my best performance, and then I forget the makeup, or I forget the custom, So
you have to be extremely organized. Especially when you're doing everything. Oh man, you have to focus on each step of the way, right? Especially on my videos, for instance. I have an overall idea of what I want to do, and then I get into the details. And when I'm doing the makeup, I'm not thinking how I will do the rest. I'm just focusing on the makeup. And now I'm choosing the wardrobe. Okay, now we're choosing the wardrobe. What sits well? Okay, now we're going to record. Usually I set all my recording stuff before doing the makeup and the wardrobe. So I do have already a method that I use. So when I start recording, things are a lot smoother because I already know what I want to do. And especially in the edition phase. That saves a lot of time if you know what you want to do while recording. Oh man, that saves a lot of time. And especially when I did my video clip, that I did the video script with all the scenes that I wanted to record. If I haven't done that, oh my gosh, I would never get it.
So you did a storyboard? Like you draw?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I did a video script. Yeah,
awesome.
I did a video script, especially because I had this story that I wanted to tell, and I had 4 different characters. And so, and they were all, there was a connection between each other. And so some scenes could not happen before one another and stuff like that. And I was going to a place that I had to record all scenes in that day. The makeup alone on some of those characters, and because I was dyeing my hair, I was wearing makeup, I was wearing like these vintage clothes and costumes, and sometimes it took me like 6 hours just to get ready to shoot. So yeah, so when we were going to shoot, we had to shoot everything. I just didn't want to go, and there was actually one character that we got delayed, and it was already turning dark. We were recording on the spot, and so we could not record the final scenes because it was already too dark. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to paint my hair again. Oh man, I was like, oh man, this cannot happen. And so yeah, that delayed like one day just because that happened.
Because
so,
it's part of learning. And right now, as independent artist, you know, like it's great to learn to do everything, because if you learn like other disciplines that probably aren't your like forte, your strong point, whenever you'll have people working for you, you'll know how to guide them, and it's not that just do the video, just do whatever you want. You know,
I do feel exactly. That is so and I do feel, you know, most of all I'm a creative person, and I'm a creative artist too. Exactly. And so when you are a creative person, you just cannot only be creative in one part, right? You have to be creative in everything you do. And I just learned that I can get creative while editing videos, while shooting videos, while recording. When I'm doing my makeup, I can be creative. I can be creative while I'm mixing, mastering songs too. So there's always places where you can put your own touch, and that is so important. And that's why I love doing all this stuff. I don't do, you know, I do feel that I wanted to work with other people, and from my upcoming album, I really want to do. I'm still not. Pretty much. I'm still focusing on the album that came out last year, but I'm already planning the future, and I'm already thinking about what is to come, and I really want to work more with other artists. But just being able to do everything I do, and that gives me like a really good advantage point to work with others, because I do know, okay, if I want you, for instance, when I collaborate with you, and I know you are going to record a bass, I know exactly what you need. I know you need drums. I know you need the drums to listen. Yeah. Right. I know you needed a track. I mean, I will never ask you to record bass and add drums after. That just doesn't make sense. But most artists don't even know that. I know that because I was in a band and I record the bass also myself. And I know, I mean, you need drums to record bass. But yeah, that's just those details that
make the difference.
Make the difference, exactly. Yeah.
You know, before we continue, sorry everyone. By the way, sorry everyone for not replying immediately. Right now, I'm having an incredible conversation with Sandra, and there's a lot of points that happen like immediately, and we go from one conversation to another. So I just want to keep it flowing as natural as possible. But thanks to all of you for being here, beautiful people. I appreciate you, Sandra community and the Groovy gang. All of you are phenomenal. I'm forever grateful with all the support. So right now, I want to say hello to Steve. Steve is an incredible viewer. Steve, I recommend you following right now sandrabullet. She is an incredible artist, incredible talent from Portugal. So please, whenever you can, I'm going to give Sandra a shout out so that you can follow her. Thanks so much for being here, Steve.
Hello, Steve. And I see Rena Eventide here too.
Rena is an incredible friend of mine. That, by the way, I'm doing a collaborational stream with her on Wednesday, actually. And thanks so much for being here, Rena. You are phenomenal. She's a really good friend of mine. She did an emote for me. In fact, let me show you. Let me show you the emote that Rena did for me. She did a heart, because we all love having hearts. And besides, I don't know, this is the HGroove heart. And yeah, so thank you so much, all of you. Let me see who else we have here. We have, of course, thanks so much, Cristiano Hambo. I see there's a lot of interesting conversations. And Witless
Witless
Artista. Witless Artista. Hello. Is that your friend?
Yeah, I think I know.
Thank you. Welcome to the Groovy Gang. Here I'm interviewing the phenomenal Sandra Bullet. I appreciate your presence. I already do follow Sandra, says Steve. Thanks so much, Steve. And thanks so much.
Is that you, Marcel? Witless Artist? I think it's Marcel.
Hambo says
Marcel used to watch me on sessions.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that kind of like also connected us because like right now we're doing the podcast because kind of like we know each other for like some time now. So I think that whenever you know a person for like more time, you feel more comfortable when talking.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You know, because if I just go to someone and don't know them, it's like it can be a little bit awkward right now. So I think that that's like kind of like sessions introduce us also to the community. And
we had, for many people, we sometimes in the beginning especially, we had some meetings where we were actually face to face with sessions. They weren't managers, but they were like they were artist representatives, I think, especially when we were getting started. Then they stopped that. But in the beginning, that's how I started knowing more and more artists, because we had like these small meetings, like me, other two artists, and the sessions representative. So we start building a community. We start getting really close. We had like this group where we used to talk about bugs and things that we should talk about other meetings and something like that. So that was actually really good. And I will always have a special relationship with Janelle and Fernando. Alex Hart, not as much, but we also had like
he was
meetings.
Also at the beginning.
Yeah, we were Ariel Petri also. Ariel then left really soon.
She's doing amazing on Twitch though.
She was already, I think she was already on Twitch before going to sessions.
She was already popular, huh? And she was a mixer too.
I think that's why they invited her. They invited me because I was a top seller on Fiverr, by the way. So
you are on Fiverr. There's so many opportunities online, like Patreon,
that's how
Fiverr.
Fiverr was how I got started. Fiverr was what allowed me to give up mechanical engineering to become a full-time artist. So I owe a lot to Fiverr.
So you started doing like gigs, like I can sing your backup vocals.
Exactly.
And then people started reaching you out.
Yeah, exactly. I still have my gigs out there. It's something that I, to be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time on that, especially since sessions, because even when I left sessions, I wanted to focus more and more in my solo career and reaching out to my fans and doing my original music. And so I'm still on Fiverr. I still do a lot of works there. I still do some works there. Most people work with me in like a regular basis. So we no longer work through Fiverr. We work personally because we just know each other already and we've done so many things. And so, but we met through Fiverr. So yeah, I owe a lot to Fiverr. Fiverr is amazing and gives a lot of opportunities to, and I also met many amazing artists all around the world. And also, I received a message just before coming live for a collaboration that I did with a Greek artist that he records epic metal songs.
That's phenomenal.
That's amazing. And he has like these epic choirs and it's just so amazing.
And I see that on your... there's something that like caught my attention is that on your Spotify, you have a song with like 1 million views.
Oh, it's the Emotions, I think, right?
Let me see if I can... Yeah, it's like this one?
Yeah, Finding Myself, yeah. That's the
crazy.
Finding Myself, yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, that is a collaboration that I made with an artist a long time ago. I think that was like 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And of course, it worked really well. It's on a playlist. It's really cool because some people come for that song and then they check out my other songs. So yeah, it's really cool.
No, and it's amazing. Like I'm honestly learning a lot from you, and it is amazing to have you on the podcast, Sandra. Like
Oh, I appreciate the
We're
invite.
having great conversations, and your community is amazing. I love also my community hearing you talk. Like for me, this is like valuable content, and this is gonna be posted on YouTube as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to Sandra's channel, please.
Yeah.
So
and stay tuned. One more collaboration one day.
many more collaborations. Right? We just have two.
Many more.
Two from many more.
Two from many.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so you wanna perform a song, or you want me to show a video? You want me to show a video?
Yeah, I think we've been talking about the video, so I think it would be interesting for people to see the video.
So the song.
And again, remember, and yeah, it's Prisão de Sonhos. And also about that video, I wanted again, this was only possible because of my amazing community. I did like this fundraiser, because I needed money to buy the props and to everything that I've done on this video clip. And we reached the goal. I even had more than what I asked for, because that's just the way my fans are. They are amazing. And oh man, I was so happy, to be able to do all this. And with their help, of course, I couldn't have done it without them.
That's amazing. So thanks so much, Sandra's community, for helping out with this content, with this video. It is definitely important to remind the community that they are loved and they are needed, and that we are where we are thanks to them. I want to say as well, thank you so much to Cristiano for subscribing to my channel. Yeah, I appreciate you, my friend. we're on the road to 500 followers. Can you believe that? My channel
that is so awesome.
It is awesome still. I'm happy.
And you have a lot of people on Twitch.
I have people on Twitch. Yeah.
I have almost 200.
That's amazing though. That still counts.
Yeah, in 1 year. In 1 year is really good.
Like what happens is that sometimes like I have my viewers, all of my viewers come in, and then sometimes like I see your viewers that I saw like a couple months ago return, and
they come back.
And that's how like the community, I don't know, it suddenly becomes something bigger and bigger.
That is so cool. Same thing happens on YouTube too. Yeah, some people just drop by from time to time, and
there's
it's so cool to see them again.
I want to talk about. Like, I'm sorry, you mentioned YouTube right now and live streaming, and it just opened a door. And I was gonna say, what do you think about live streaming on YouTube? Because I've noticing that they're starting to use kind of like an emote system, and I've done it a couple times, and it has worked. Like, it is content that I have. But what do you think of streaming on YouTube compared to streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch has Twitch is like the OG of streaming, right? So of course it has a lot more stuff that YouTube doesn't have. I do feel like YouTube also works great. It doesn't have as much stuff on as Twitch, but it's also a very steady platform, and that's something that I appreciate, especially after being on sessions, right? Mm-hmm. I really appreciate that they are really stable and they work. Okay, they don't have a lot of stuff, but everything they have works, and so I think that's pretty much all you need. So I do feel that YouTube still has a long way to go, but again, we have to understand that YouTube is a video platform, right? Twitch is a streaming platform, YouTube is a video platform. So of course it also has streaming, but most stuff is videos that are not live. So but it works really well, and I do feel that I reach different people on YouTube that I reach on Twitch, and that's why I stream on both platforms.
And they can connect sometimes.
They can connect, yes. Some people find me on Twitch and then they come to YouTube, and vice versa. But I do have some people that only watch me on Twitch and some people that only watch me on YouTube, and that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I do like both platforms, and YouTube also allows you, of course, to post videos, and something Twitch doesn't offer that option yet.
I mean, you can post highlights, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah, and I do feel that on my videos, with my YouTube videos, I do reach a lot of people, especially the covers, because you can tag channels, you can use tags.
It's phenomenal. But that's kind of new, like the tagging channels. That's new, but that's amazing. I love it.
And and the tags, that happened. Sometimes I'm streaming on YouTube, and I'm just live, and then somebody drops in the chat and saying, I was just watching one of your covers and I saw that you were live, so I came by to say hello. So it's amazing. So you can reach people. People find your videos on YouTube and then they come to your profile, they see your live. So that's a part that Twitch doesn't have, and that is really good, because that way you can reach people that are totally unrelated to you, and then they find you, and then they start following you.
What I also like about Twitch is that it is easy to monetize. Like on YouTube, in order to monetize, you have to like
that is especially, yeah.
I think it's good to work on both. Like you have to
totally and
both.
If you're just getting started and you want to monetize fast, Twitch is your way to go. Definitely. Especially if you use DistroKid, because DistroKid has like this partnership program with Twitch that you can become an affiliate
immediately
right away. So I did
crazy.
That, and I did that, and I became an affiliate right. Bam.
That's amazing.
I just started. I'm already affiliate.
And you already had a community on Session, so it's not that you had to like swim on like deep sea of Twitch,
That's true.
without knowing.
That's true. But most people that actually followed me weren't using Twitch yet. They were using YouTube, but not Twitch.
Yeah.
So I brought a lot of people to Twitch.
Twitch grew. Yeah, I did the same with Twitch. So Twitch should like us. But yeah, because I remember like Cool to Sar, Mika Ring. There's Jan.
Yeah.
There's beautiful people here that never used Twitch. So, anyways, let me prepare with this. I have to share my screen. So, is there like any other information that you would like us to know regarding the video?
Yeah, but so again, I did everything myself, and it was like this amazing creative challenge that I put myself into, and I do feel like this video is like a proof that you can make stuff if you just try your best and put yourself out there and not being afraid of trying new things. So I hope you guys like it.
An awesome video.
Thanks a lot.
And
I had a really good time.
I love I love the subtitles.
Yeah, I put the subtitles because and I posted the video. The song is in Portuguese, so I posted the video, and actually I didn't post subtitles because I wanted people to tell me what they thought the song was about before knowing what the song was about. So it was really cool. I had many people were like, some people told me, oh, it's a person that travels to the past, that comes from the future or something like that. Oh, it's alternate realities and something like that. It was really interesting to see the interpretation of people to the song. And then I posted the subtitles so people knew what the song was actually about. And it's a song about breaking breaking your beliefs, changing your beliefs, and not taking your beliefs for granted, because sometimes you let your beliefs and your conscience limitate you, and of course society limitates you. And that was this song is about. It's like Prison of Dreams. That's the name of the song, because sometimes you're just trapped into your own reality, but reality is what you made of it, right? So the song is about that. 8,800 views now. Oh, that's so cool.
That's crazy. You have so many views on the video. When was it released? It's a cool video. And
so it was released in November. Yeah, it was in Halloween actually.
It grew fast. Like that's like it has it was a fast growth. The video that grew the most out of my music videos, it is Que Pasa, that grew like 10,000 in a year, which I still surprised about it. But your video is doing amazing too. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. Of course, the covers usually have more views. I have like this cover of ABBA that is more than 30,000 views in 1 year.
Crazy,
and something.
but that's awesome, because
that one
content.
Is crazy. That one,
and that's how
that
people
one
end up knowing you. Like
exactly.
When the video ended, I did this. So I just wanted to give you a round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Because I also like the makeup, and you dressed as a doll. It definitely reminds me. Are you a fan of horror movies?
A bit.
It had that aesthetic a little bit.
I was going for like this. How can I say? It's kind of a it's not punk, but it has like this theme, horror and a bit of metal, melodic metal, epic metal look too. Something. Yeah, and the song was inspired by Evanescence. When I did the melody, I was thinking that I really wanted to make a song that sounded like Evanescence, and that's how I came up with that. And Evanescence is all about that look too. So
So who is part of your band right now? Like, how do you record these songs? Do you record like all of the instruments, or if I'm not wrong, I remember you telling me that you record with your boyfriend. So your boyfriend record drums.
Yeah,
Ricardo.
and because this album that I released, Somewhere in the Crowd, I think I have it here. So yes, so I have 2 albums out there, and I was on a band for 12 years, and during those 12 years we did 15 songs together. And when I released this album, it has all the songs that I did with the band, and so I invited my old band members. Ricardo was actually the drummer. That's how we met, actually. He was the drummer of the band that I auditioned. And then we had Eduardo on the bass, and we also had Rui on the guitars, but Rui doesn't play the guitar anymore, so he chose to allow me to play the guitars.
You say Guido?
Record the guitars. Rui. So we have Ricardo, Eduardo, and Rui. Rui doesn't play the guitar anymore, and so I own his guitar. He sold it to me. And so he said, just go ahead and record the guitar. I know you're going to do a good job, so you do the guitar. And so on this album, I recorded, I record them playing. Ricardo played here in my studio. Eduardo also came here, and I own the bass also. He sold me his bass, so he doesn't play that much anymore, but he wanted to record the album. So for this album, I recorded with my previous band. But on everything else that I do, usually I do everything myself. I don't have a band anymore. So we sometimes still play, but only they are not musicians. I mean, they are hobbyist musicians. They play for fun. So I was the only one who take it more seriously and more professionally. So yeah, for instance, on my first EP, Longe, I did everything myself here. And on my bulletized covers, yeah, that was, especially when I recorded this, oh man, I didn't know a lot of stuff. So I did a lot of mistakes that, looking back, I was like, But, overall, I'm proud of what I did. I did what I could with what I knew back then. And that album was released on my 30th anniversary, so almost 5 years ago. So, I mean, that was just when I was getting started. So it was a learning process. So
it is definitely inspiring. Your video reminds me of my music video Insane. I don't know if you have seen it, but in that one, I'm also like an actor. I mean, I am a...
That is so cool. It looks like you were on a theater or something. I remember I thought something like that.
I had like the mustache, I looked like this, like...
Yeah, you look like a crazy person. I thought it was so amazing. I guess true.
Yeah. But I have to improve my costume design though. But
but it was great.
I wanted to be I wanted to be a magician, and it was a good experience. I definitely liked it. But yeah, I want to continue doing more content like that. And I have a question, since it says Insane, it's amazing. Thanks so much, my dear Cristiano. I appreciate it, honestly. But here, what is truly amazing is the talent of Sandra and all of what she does, because she does by herself. So it's most definitely inspiring. So my question here is, what would you recommend me or like other like YouTube creator of content that is kind of like was still working on it? Like what advice would you give them or give me?
So I do feel like, being musicians, the audio is more important than the video, of course. So
yes.
My first advice is that have a good quality audio, okay? And there are a lot of tutorials that you can mix your own stuff yourself, or if you don't want to get into that, because there is a totally different world, hire someone to do that for you, okay? Mm-hmm. But be sure to deliver good content, especially
like
audio.
You have a standard.
Yes, have a standard, okay? And then, of course, if you're doing a video, the quality of the video is also important. I do feel the audio is more important, especially when I was getting started. I didn't have a good camera, so I used what I had, and that worked fine for me. And then I started growing from there. I don't have a video camera. I record with my phone, but I did invest in a good smartphone that has a really good camera.
What phone do you have?
I have a Huawei P40
No
Pro.
iPhone?
No, I'm not a knife. I'm not a Mac
Okay.
person.
Okay, we're gonna continue on that, but keep going with like the creation of content and the
No,
advice
I'm
and
not.
all that.
I'm not a Mac person. I do feel like there are a lot of they are very expensive, and if you have other brands, you can get really better quality for the same price or even lower price. So my Huawei, I record with this one, and it's 4K. And it has the Pro mode, which is totally manual mode that you can control everything. You can control every setting. It doesn't have any artificial intelligence on the camera, and that is great for edition, for after edition. Okay,
Because then you can work on it by yourself. It's not like the
exactly.
phone
Then
is
you
acting
can
by-
just no, then you can import it into a video editing software and do fun stuff with that. Yeah. So yeah, get a good camera, and again, a smartphone is a lot cheaper than a real camera. I mean, if money isn't a problem, of course, do buy a good camera instead of a phone, right? But usually when you're getting started, I mean, all penny savings count. So yeah, and then of course video software. There are some video softwares for free out there.
DaVinci.
I
I
use
use DaVinci. You like DaVinci?
DaVinci.
It's
Yeah, I've
really
heard
good.
of it. I use Wondershare Filmora, and I paid 15 euros for it. It's like 20 bucks forever. And I just love Wondershare Filmora because it has a lot of, they are always releasing packs of effects and elements that you can use for free. And so sometimes they have like these promotions. For instance, in my video, I used some smoke effects and something like that is totally made on the software, especially some transitions. That's why I love Wondershare Filmora. And I do feel like 20 bucks, it's not something, it's not that much for
it's
software.
not like
It's not like
doable.
Yeah, on my audio software, of course, I paid a lot more money because I use Cubase Pro, and Cubase Pro is just like one of the best softwares out there, one of the oldest audio softwares too. I think it was one of the first to come out.
Cubase, and it's all updated, and yeah, I know people are working on Cubase.
Yeah, and it has a lot of versions. I started with the basic version, then I updated to Elements, and then now I updated to Pro. Pro is like the top notch. It has a lot of things that the free ones don't have, but you don't have to have Cubase. I invested in Cubase on a time that I was actually making a lot of money from recording and mixing and mastering. So I thought, no, I want to invest in having a good software. And so I invested, right? When I started, I was using the basic version. So you just have, that's just it. Same thing with my microphones. You know, I started recording with a Behringer that costed like 30 euros, around $40, something like that. And then I bought this one. Now I have this Shure that is a lot better. Right? But
is that like a room microphone?
This is a dynamic one. It's not a condenser. It's a dynamic, and it has to have, but it's a very low. I mean, you have to. It's a very low impedance microphone, so you have to have a preamp. So yeah, it's not only buying the microphone. You have to buy a preamp, but then the sound that you get from it is like nothing else. And I've recorded with a Neumann. Those things like cost like 50,000 euros or something like that. They are really expensive. I recorded with one on a studio, and I was talking about the studio owner, and I have just bought this one, and I was like, oh, I bought a Shure SM7B, and he was like, oh, I have to get one of those. Those are so amazing. And the guy had like 50,000 euro microphones, and he wanted to get one of these. So this is a really good microphone for the price.
Like something that you said is like, yes, like it's not that you need like to have the best gear in order to do
especially
good
when you're getting started. When you're getting started, you just have to be creative.
And you just have to be creative, and you can stay there, and then eventually
you
things
escalate.
Are change.
You escalate. When you start getting money, you start investing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When I started recording, I didn't have studio monitors, so I was recording with my stereo sound and some cheap monitors, some cheap phones, and I just made it work. Right. So when you're getting started, just do the best you can. And that's it. And people will appreciate that. You know, I save my older videos. They are still on YouTube, and I'm not putting them down because I want people to see how I got started.
Yeah, no, it's important. Yeah. It's part of your trajectory and your story as a musician. Like, for example, if the first video that you did like 3 years ago, probably, I don't know, it didn't have like too much quality. but it is part of all the growth you have done, and that has value. For me, that has value because I can see that, oh, you started probably I don't know, probably people didn't see you as they see you now. You didn't have the community you have now.
Yeah.
You know, so that adds a lot of weight.
I started my bulletized covers only we're going on the third year. Yeah, only 3 years ago. So I do have some older videos that are like just me with a guitar and very bad video and sometimes very bad audio, but that's just the magic of it, right? Yeah. You can even see my different studios, because now I have my own studio, but before being here I was living in an apartment, and I had an improvised studio there, and some videos are recorded in my parents' home. So I have like in the storage room, so you have all the tools, and my dad is kind of a fixer upper, so he has like I have like this wall of tools. There's a video, I think it's unintended, that has like a wall of tools behind me, and that's okay, you know, and that's okay. But if you hear the audio, the video was not that good, but the quality of the audio was already acceptable. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes the difference. And I didn't have my equipment wasn't expensive, right? But I did have a microphone, and I had some basic knowledge that I found online. So that's all you need to get started, and just be creative. I think that's the main thing. Just be creative and be unique, you know. Do something that you feel like it's right. Don't do something just because everybody else is doing it. Just do your thing.
It is most definitely what you're saying. I'm going to catch up with the messages pretty quick. Let me just read it. Guido says, so let me just read them, and then we're going to, because if not, like every comment just opens a conversation. Yeah, of course. And it's amazing. I'm evaluating Filmora, but it's more expensive now. And then he says, a lot of it's still down to the person shooting the video, editing, etc. I follow some non-music YouTube channels, and they have all the expensive kit, but are clueless on using it and editing the content, which is also true. That's true. Your videos are amazing. I'm curious to know which equipment you're using. Beautiful lights and photography. Yeah, when it's photography and lights, it comes to the knowledge of the person, because you can, as Hambo was saying, like I can have like the best equipment, but if I don't know like what's the best angle or the best use of the lights, I'm not gonna take advantage of it, you know. But if I have like probably an expensive material, but the knowledge that has value, bullet evolution. And then correct. And we have here Grim the Goon, who is a good friend of mine from California. I love my friend Grim the Goon. He's a NFTs investor, but and soon to be creator of NFTs, which is exciting.
Oh, awesome.
I love NFTs. She's Sandra Bullet. Grim, if you want to follow her, that would be phenomenal. We have Mikarine.
Oh, Mikarine, how are you?
You know, Mikarine is so loved here in my community that she has her own command, because Mikarine came from sessions. That's how I met her. And then she came, and she knows you, and it's amazing sharing community members, you know. Arigato, Mikarine. She's an incredible viewer, and also very loved in this community. How's everybody? We're doing great, man. We're here just talking about music, creation of content, languages, many things. What's up? Yeah, man, this podcast is awesome. Thanks so much. Your presence is awesome. So yeah, Sandra, it's actually, so what do you have? Can you give us like a sneak peek of the content, the future content that you have on your Patreon, or what you're about to release this Sunday or on YouTube? You know?
Usually I release every Saturday, and on this Saturday I still don't know what I will do. I think I will do one acoustic cover that is just me on the guitar, and usually it's recorded on the first take, so it's a simpler cover, and I do feel it's also important to keep it simple sometimes. I also have the birthday covers that I have, it's just small covers that I do to pay respects to many artists that I admire and look up to. Mm-hmm. So and those are really easy. Those are recorded with my phone. I don't do any edition, and I do feel that it's also important to produce this kind of content, because when you do like this high-notch, really professional content, sometimes people are like, oh, but does she sound like that live? Yeah, because it's so professional. They're like, so I do like to have like this birthday covers that I record on the first take also there, so people see different sides of me. And the acoustic covers are also like that. They are more intimate. I also do
More
some
personal.
piano covers sometimes. Yeah, and they're just like if you are here in the studio with me and I'm just singing a song for you.
And you know what? I was reading once that supposedly like what attracts the most to people is like if I, for example, show you a music video of myself and it's like cinematographic and all of this budget and you don't know me, probably like the average person is not gonna like connect as much because they are like, oh, these people, they are already like huge, I don't know them. But if you see the video as if you're walking on the street and then something unbelievable is happening, like I am singing on the street or like you see being recorded as if I am there, that relates it more because we all want to be part of like unbelievable things. You know, you walk on the street and then suddenly you see a phenomenal singer, guitar player killing it on the guitar, so that I think that catches a lot of attention. And
and people, I think that's the power also of live stream, right? Because you're there and you're just connecting with everyone and you're just performing live. And that's what makes people connect with you.
And it's kind of raw too, in the sense that YouTube video, you edit, you correct the mistakes. Here, what I said, what you said.
Exactly,
you said, that's cool.
Exactly. That's what makes everything. I think that's what makes everything better. I think and more real. That's it. More real, more authentic. And I do get, sometimes when I'm on my live streaming, some people sometimes show up and they're like, "Are you really singing? Isn't this just recording?" And I feel like that's the best feedback anybody can give me, right? Thinking that I'm recording or using some kind of vocal tuning live or something like that. I don't. But yeah, people just assuming that sounds too good, too real, and too good to be like live. That's really great. That's really great.
It is really great. And I also have a question that I always ask people. I want to include it more in this podcast, and that is, if your week would be in musical genre, what musical genre would it be?
Can you ask the question again?
So
Sorry.
if your past week, today is Monday, so if your past week would have been a musical genre, what genre would it be?
Oh man, my last week was so good. Okay. I think this week I would say punk.
Nice.
But last week,
like you think this week is gonna be punk?
Yeah, because at least today, I was like speeding up and I was doing so much stuff, and I feel like old school Green Day. I
love old school Green Day. That's
me
pure
too,
Ramones and like Dookie, and I love it.
But last week, I was just getting used to this new routine, so I was trying new stuff. So there was kind of a nostalgic feeling to that. So last week I would say something like classic rock, maybe southern rock, something like Creedence Clearwater Revival, something like that.
So more like 70s, 80s, kind of like classic rock, you're saying?
Yeah,
but still
more
like
that.
Pushing forward.
So it has the pushing forward, but there's a bit of nostalgia also. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I like that.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. If your week would have been a musical genre, what would it be? I would say like last week I was into like reggae rock rap. And of course I always have lo-fi. So that was my last week. I hope this week changes a little bit. I like changes in between genres of music. I listen to everything almost. I listen to rock, metal, pop, lo-fi, Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I do have, I do listen to a lot of stuff. There are some styles that I don't listen at all. I don't, especially here in Portugal, there was a time, not as much now, but there was a time that everybody was listening to some African genres like kizomba and kuduro and something like that. I don't listen to that.
But kuduro is not like Portuguese?
No, that's African.
Oh, I thought it was Brazilian.
I think they use it too, but I think it's original
because of the song Dança Kuduro.
Yeah, but that has a Portuguese version too. Yeah, but that was the thing, because there was a time here in Portugal that those styles, everybody was doing music on those styles.
Yeah.
But they are African. They are not Portuguese. Portuguese, there's fado, like Cristiano is saying. Fado is very, very Portuguese.
Fado? Wow. I need to check that out because I don't know too much about like
but fado is like
music, like from Portugal.
It's a very traditional style. It's very unique. It's not something that I usually listen to as well, but it's something that I give a lot of value to it because it's very, very unique. It's something that it's like nothing you've ever heard before. And especially if you listen to Amália Rodrigues, which she was like the person that made fado famous. Now there are a lot of newer singers, but Amália was like the OG, was the first one, and especially during dictatorship and also like that. And so she has a really amazing life story too. Kuduro is African, yes.
The dictatorship in Portugal, you're saying?
We had a dictatorship that finished. Yeah, it ended in 1975.
Oh wow! So it's like kind of recent for being a European. Yeah.
Or 74. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but those times were darker.
My parents remember. And they told me many stories about it. They couldn't. Do you know that you needed a license to have a TV and a lighter also?
That's crazy.
Yeah, because we produced a lot of matches. And so what our dictator did was like, I'm going to put a license on the lighters, so people have to use matches, and you have to pay to use a lighter and a TV too. Set as well.
In the 70s, in the 60s, like there's also a lot of dictatorships happening in Latin America, South America, in Chile, in Argentina with Pinochet, with like the military dictatorship in Argentina as well. And those times were tough in many parts of the world. But I didn't know about Portugal. Now I'm gonna do my research because I did a DNA test, and it says that 40% of my DNA test is South Europe, meaning Spain and Portugal. Like it appears.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I think it's because like you probably have Spanish DNA, maybe because it's so close that people have been. Maybe,
I do
you never know.
I do feel because I'm not your typical Portuguese person. I do look a lot more Nordic than most Portuguese people. Most Portuguese people are Mediterranean, so they are Latin. Yeah, they are Mediterranean. They are Latin. They have dark hair. The complexion is also darker than mine. So I do have my eyes are light, and my hair is also lighter than most people, and also my skin tone too. So I do feel I've never done it, and I'm really curious, but I do feel like maybe I have like some from North America, North Europe. I don't know, lineage.
For me, it's interesting because I come from Latin America, and there has been like migrations happening all over the world. So a lot of people that come from Latin America are like a mixture of many places, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes
America is a lot more recent. Portugal is one of the oldest countries in the world.
Europe is the old continent, you know?
Yeah, and we had Arabs here for a long time. We had Romans also. We have a lot of Roman places, historical places. We have Arab castles, so we have a lot of everything here since it's a really old country. So yeah.
No, that's actually really interesting. And let me just catch here what Cristiano saying. Kuduro is African.
Fresh dumplings.
I don't know what's happening.
Commercial going on.
Commercial. Kuduro is African, but we have a Brazilian version for everything. That's what Cristiano says. And then it says, Bicarid says, in January 2020, I saw Fado in Lisbon. In Lisboa? Lisbon?
Oh, that's so cool. Mikarin, you came to Portugal.
You came to Portugal and you didn't visit Sandrabullet. Oh, no. How can that be even possible? No, I'm joking.
I don't think Mikarin knew me in January 2020.
If Mikarin comes to California, I would like love to meet Mikarin. You know, I went to Ecuador because I'm from Ecuador, okay? And I went to a vacation over there for 2 months. And I was in a restaurant. And I was there with a couple friends of mine, and then suddenly someone came to me, and she was like, "Hey, excuse me, are you HGroove?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." "Oh, because I've been on your Twitch." And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, that is so awesome.
I just stand up and I gave her a hug, and I was like, "Thank you so much. I'm so glad to meet you." And it's
That is
amazing because
so awesome.
imagine like if I go to Portugal, okay, let's say, and then suddenly I see you and we're like, hey, you know, I don't know. It's like, it's cute. It's cool. Like,
if you come to Portugal, you let me know. Okay.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
no,
meet by chance. You let me know.
Yeah, no, we should collab and definitely do content. But anyways, you know, this has been honestly an awesome podcast. It's actually the first time that we're talking like face to face, you can say.
Face to face, yeah. We always talk by message, right?
We always talk by messages, and it has been awesome. Actually, like I'm glad we did that first collab and the second one, and I hope we will continue working on more. And this is one way or another is another collaboration because we're doing a podcast, and
definitely, yeah.
I definitely want to continue doing this because I love getting to know other talents, and I think it's a great way to expand the community as well, you know?
Oh, so definitely. And, you know, I always feel that musicians, and that was one of the reasons why I left sessions. I do feel like music is a collaboration. I mean, it has to be a collaboration. It's not a competition. It can never be a competition. I do feel like sharing other artists with my fan community is like growth for everyone. It's not growth only for other people. It's for everyone because, you know, I love hearing new music. I love meeting other musicians and other artists. And lately I've been so fortunate as to be invited to be on podcasts. And, you know, I was, you know, just 2 days ago, I was invited to be on a Portuguese podcast as well. And it will be my second time on a Portuguese podcast. And it's so awesome because I love meeting other people. I love sharing my experience and hearing other people sharing their experiences with me. I feel like we always learn. It's a win-win situation. It's not a competition. And so, you know, I don't have like self-promotion turned off, for instance, on my channels. If you want to self-promote on my channel, go ahead and do it. I don't mind because I do feel like that is the way of doing stuff. Of course, if you are a musician, if you are promoting other things, no. But if you are a musician and if you're just getting started or you found my channel and you want to connect, please do. Because that's what makes this so beautiful. And I think music is a cooperative effort. So it's amazing to share experiences and to meet other people.
It is. And actually, like, by showing or exposing in the best way possible to other artists, like promoting them, you're showing that Twitch or that you have a healthy community. You know, if I'm always like not trying to put my community away from others,
you're gonna lose your community if you do that.
Your community. But if you show them to others, like it just shows that we are living like in a healthy environment, and then my people go to your channel, your people like, and we all grow as you were saying, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you here, and I really hope you will get like follows and true like people that will like consume your content from this podcast, honestly, because that's what I wanted to. You know, this is a growth thing, and I think that we both have benefits from doing this. And I appreciate you again, Sandra, for accepting my invitation and sharing all of this information, conversation with me. And I just want to say it pretty fast. I want to read what Hambo says. He says, "Thank you, HGroove. You're a great interviewer, and this has been great. By far the best non-bullet session." This bullet on the groove, like
this bullet on the groove. I love that.
Fernand said it, and yeah, which is amazing. And honestly, it adds just like a lot of colors to my channel. And this will be also on YouTube. And I appreciate you, you know, just for being part of it. And let me see. Jess, I went to Portugal in 2020, and I want to go to California someday. Well, if you go, let me know, and I'll show you around. And yeah.
Yeah, and I hope you come to Portugal again.
Yeah, and if you come to Cali too, like everyone is invited to my house. Yeah. Party tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, in Portugal, it's such a small country. So even if you are on Lisbon or Porto, actually, the city where I live is halfway between Porto and Lisbon. And so one way or another, we can meet. So it's really easy for me. It's a small country, so it's easy for me to find you guys, and it's easy for you guys.
Of how many people?
10 million.
People. Oh, it's a small country. Ecuador has more. Can you believe that? And Ecuador is really small. Ecuador has 17 million.
Wow. Yeah, it's easy to have more. We are a really small country. But
Ecuador,
yeah.
I mean, and California is huge. California has
yeah.
lot. California is like a country.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like a country on its own,
No,
almost.
almost. I think most American states are bigger than Portugal. So
Probably, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know Portugal was like had so many like little like it's not like much too populated.
no, actually no. And we have places, especially I live in the fourth biggest city, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth biggest city, and I live 5 minutes away from the middle, from the middle of the city, and I'm pretty much on the countryside, and I'm just 5 minutes away, and it's really cool because we have everything, but I also can have my studio, and I don't have noise here. I live in a dead end street, so no noise. I do have a beautiful landscape view on my window with countryside and a big forest. And and the forest is also only 5 minutes away from the center of the city. That's how. And we have a river, and you can even take a bath in the river because it's clean. It's that clean. So it's really cool. Yeah,
and the
it's
water,
really cool.
it tastes really good. Like river water is like saltless, because I've been to like really clean rivers in Ecuador, and the water is just like you can drink that water.
Yeah. I wouldn't drink this one here, but I've tasted. There are some places here in Portugal that you can definitely taste the water. I mean, I'm sure you can taste the water here too, but I don't know. Being on a city, and you always think twice, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to the mountains, and we have. And that's one thing that I really love about my country. We have amazing forests, and we have a lot of nature all around. We have the sea, of course. We have our seashore is huge, so we have a lot of beaches too.
Yeah.
And the water is so clean, so good.
You know, like
totally.
It reminded me when you said about the mountains. So there's this guy who from Ecuador. Okay, he's a traditionalist. So Ecuador is part of the Andes mountains. So the higher you go, it gets there's ice. So there's this guy that has been doing this for centuries. He's like 80 years of age. He goes to the top of the mountain, gets ice, brings it down, and starts making juice from that ice from the mountains. You don't know how delicious that ice is. And of course, like nowadays, if you want to get ice, you don't have to do that. Like he's doing that because he's maintaining like the tradition for when technology was.
That is so cool. That is
delicious.
So cool.
You know how an idea like that's like pure ice from the Andes mountains.
Wow.
So,
that is so cool.
Yeah, and let me just pretty quick this. Musicians should be together. Yesterday I met a Japanese guitarist because of Sandra's Bullet Eyes cover. Zombie 1104 on YouTube, and he's awesome. Nice. We have to check him out then. Same population as Copacabana. And anyways, I was gonna say thanks so much to all of you. Sandra, we are arriving to the end of this podcast. As you know, like I always like rating. Do you rate?
Oh yeah, definitely. Usually when I go offline, I always check who's live so I can rate.
Yeah, thank you so much, 21st Pilot, for sending a round of applause. Right now, we don't have the alerts on because we are using StreamYards, which is a software for streaming. But thanks so much for that intention of giving us a round of applause. Again, I'm gonna give you the well-deserved shout out, Sandra. Thank you so much for your support and for your accepting my invitation one more time. Anyways, so my question to all of you is my question to you, Sandra, is: do you want to say something before we close it?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone for being here and for supporting us streamers like us, right? It's so important. And I always say, like, we wouldn't be here without you guys, right? And it wouldn't make sense. It would be like really boring. It wouldn't make sense at all for us to be here doing this podcast and doing our things online if there weren't people on the other side. So it's really important. And thank you so much for just being you, because you guys are awesome. And yeah, and thank you HGroove, also for being awesome. Why, and it's one thing that is so amazing, collaborating with artists all around the world. And I always feel like can't wait to go to California to meet you, because I'm sure you're amazing in person.
You're amazing too. I would love to meet you as well. And it's crazy because even though we're closing the podcast, people are starting to show up and they're like, hey, how are you? Like, insane. Trigger to some HGroove song. It is correct. Yeah, a lot of the things that I do. The thing is that my audio alerts, someone presses I clap, and then suddenly we have the round of applause,
That is so cool.
But right now we don't have it. So we're just forced to not have it. But anyways, welcome Adult Newborn. Right now, as I said, we are doing a podcast with Sandra Bullet. Thanks so much for joining, my friend. You're at work, but you can catch it later on Twitch or on YouTube. I'll be more than happy for you to watch it. Sandra is an amazing talent. Hope you can follow her too. You won't regret it. Thank you as well, Guido. It's an honor, man. You are phenomenal. Bye, my friend. Yeah. Hello, Sunny. Thanks for lurking. I am in the podcast right now. I appreciate you. Yeah, so with that said, Sandra.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow.
Okay, so everyone, please, before we close it, I'm gonna share your website one more time so that everyone can follow. Please don't forget to follow my friend Sandra Bullet. She is phenomenal. That's the link of her website. And also, please don't forget, if you want to follow me on all of my social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you want to catch me, Spotify, you can catch it, that link tree. Follow me where it says follow me here. And thank you so much, Cristiano. For me, it's honestly an honor doing this with Sandra, and I am super glad you have enjoyed this podcast. And with that said, Sandra, again...
Oh, Stig, you just came out in the end.
Oh, Swangen. No, but yes. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to be rating in a little bit. And that's all from my end. So thanks so much, Sandra. I will hope you have a phenomenal night. Productive week, and we will be in contact so that we can do more collaborations and projects.
Definitely.
So thank you so much, Sandra. Have a phenomenal week. Bye.
You too.
Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sandra Bullet. What an incredible podcast. How productive that was. I am extremely happy with what has happened today. I am lucky to have Sandra Bullet on the podcast today. As I was saying, please don't forget to give her a follow on Twitch and follow her on any other social platform that you can. She's a friend, she's part of the community, and she has definitely been involved in the growth of my channel. So thanks so much again for that.